Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this TGIF Friday. And for those of you that are not familiar with it, TGIF is an acronym for Thank God It's Friday. So I hope you've had a good week. I hope you're having a good day. And I hope you have a good weekend. What am I here to talk about today? Hey, nice to see you again. First of all, let me say that earlier this week, I talked about the unofficial results of the spirometry and diffusion test that I did. And now I've had the chat with the pulmonologist to go over the official results of the test. And maybe you're like me. 8 months ago, I would not have known this difference. Let me just talk about this for a second. Over here on this shoulder is the polyclinic of the medical center. And across the street over there is the hospital. 8 months ago, I would have not known the difference. But let me just talk about that real quick. Over there in the hospital, well, this is where I stayed for 60 days, including 50 days in the ICU. And the hospital, I think most of us have a general idea what a hospital is. Over there is where you find the operating room, the emergency room. This is where you have the wards for care for people that need to be attended and observed and treated overnight, and sometimes, such as in my case, many nights. So the normal ward, the intermediate ward, and the intensive care unit are all over there across the street. Also across the street of the hospital over there is the radiology department. So this is where things using light and radiation are done for analyzing inside your body. So things like the MRI, CT scan, ultrasound, electrocardiogram, these are all things also done over there across the street. And over here at the polyclinic are all the other medical disciplines that aren't related to people staying at the hospital. So for example, as part of my ongoing care, these tests I've just done with the pulmonologist, well, the pulmonologist is here in the polyclinic. The logopedist, the speech therapist I was dealing with, is over here as well. And the endocrinologist that I've been working with is also over here. So sort of, the ongoing care and treatment of things that aren't related to operation and surgery and immediate treatment are all done over here. And the hospital is over there. I'm just pointing that out because the pulmonologist that I'm talking to is over here, and I just learned this difference by going through it all. So it's interesting. It's a good thing. I'm glad that I had this chat, this official results chat with the pulmonologist to go over the results. The first thing the pulmonologist did was sort of reorientate me on the metrics to look at. I had been looking at something called the FVC, which stands for forced vital capacity. And this is the test that measures force of air, right? I think I described this the last time. I inhale, and as quickly and as hard as you can, you exhale as forcefully as you can. That's the metric I had been looking at. But the metric that my pulmonologist looks at is something called the VC max. This is the vital capacity maximum. And it's more of a measure of a sustainable level of breathing. And I can understand how that becomes more relevant, because how often do you maximally exhale something, unless it's your birthday and you're blowing out candles, right? So that was the first thing. And the interesting thing about that is that when the doctor reorientated me and we started focusing on the VC max, and we look at the results of my test compared to the expectation of a healthy man my age and my size, then actually the result came back at 70%, 70. And if you caught my video earlier this week, 70 was actually the magic minimal number I was looking for. So that was good to hear and good to see. But the doctor also tried to put it all into perspective. I did that a little bit on Monday, but the doctor put her medical perspective on it as well, since she's in the profession of treating people for this and has seen many people. What the doctor shared with me was, look, you're at 70% now on this VC max. Where were you 3 months ago? 3 months ago, you measured 58%. So on a basis percentage pointage, you've improved 12 percentage points against the maximum. And anything above 10%, she says to me, is just outstanding. So you're doing it really well. And when I could share with the doctor the activity level that I'm sustaining now, things like 100,000 steps, 7-day rolling steps, the things that I'm doing, 6-minute tests and chair sit-ups and physiotherapy and biking around and this sort of thing. Again, my doctor, the pulmonologist, put it all together and said, look, you're way beyond expectation. The doctor mentioned that she was super impressed. And in her professional opinion as a pulmonologist, she said, you are doing better than anyone that I've seen, given the condition you were in and within 6 months of discharge from the hospital. So that's a lot more positive than I made it sound earlier this week when I gave my unofficial results, right? And so, again, my own interpretation earlier this week was a little bit biased, biased by how well do I wish I could be feeling, and my expectation for myself. But we put into the context of a professional pulmonologist who says you're beyond expectation and doing better than anyone else I've seen from your starting point within 6 months discharge, then, well, that was good to hear. I think I needed to hear that, right? There was nothing earlier this week that would have slowed me down from my commitment of continuing with therapy and progression, but it was actual an extra boost, if you will, that everything I've been doing has been going in the right direction, and I need to continue doing more of it. So, anyways, I thought I would give you that update since I mentioned unofficial results and said I would come back later. I want to say thank you to those of you that replied either on comments or direct messages. Most of you have been very supportive, trying to help me, again, put it all in perspective and feel better than I did initially after the results. I want to say thank you to all of you. Keep the comments, keep the questions coming. There's nothing that you can ask or say that I don't think I would be uncomfortable replying to. I mean, the most uncomfortable aspect of all of this is way behind me now, right? And now I'm just dealing with the recovery, which at this point, most of it is positive, outstanding good news. So, all right, just want to share that with you. Again, happy TGIF wherever you are. Hope you continue in good health and have a good weekend. I'll see you around the next time. Hasta.